we welcome in our good friend Joe Davidson for the beginning of what's going to be a long relationship together. Of course, Joe D has been on the show many, many times before, but we were like, yo, man, we need to dig into high school football a little bit more. And you don't go to anyone else when you're talking high school football. You go to Joe Davidson. And Joe D, thank you so much for jumping on board with us, man. We're thrilled to have you. The season is underway. It's going to be some tough temperatures this weekend, but I know games are already being moved around a little bit, but what can you tell us about that?
It's good to join you guys. And oppressive heat, excessive heat. We're used to it. We know that. People in Arizona are saying, "Hey, hold my beer. Come down here where it's a little bit warmer," and things like that. So everybody's doing it. Sacramento State has its season opener on Saturday. It's supposed to be a 6 p.m. kickoff, which would have been interesting with 110-degree temperature. So that got pushed back to 7:30 at home against Utah Tech. That'll be on ESPN Plus, and I think your station carries it, that game live. And so it's just being mindful. High school games all over the place. 7 p.m. varsity kickoffs on Fridays are now being pushed to 8 or 8:30. A lot of people are complaining, "Oh, that's inconvenience." Shut up, hydrate, move on. You play. It's the right thing to do. Capital Christian of Sacramento was supposed to play at Rockland in Placer County on Saturday night. It got moved down to 10 a.m. Just to try to be more mindful. What about the junior varsity guys who are playing at noon or 1? The junior varsity football games are much shorter, 10-minute quarters compared to 12, a lot more running clock. So there you go. It's not undervaluing, they're just younger guys. They'll be fine. So this is what we have. And it could be worse, guys, because how many years have we had smoke in our air, clogging up the air, and a real concern the last few years with wildfire smoke? We have not had that happen yet. Knock on wood. Last year at this time, we had a lot of games pushed back. Sometimes they get pushed back a day or two, or sometimes they get canceled completely. And when you cancel a high school football game, that's a big deal. I mean, that's lost experiences. Not, I'm not talking about, kids have a chance to get a scholarship. No, it's for everybody to play, the families to get there, the school spirit, rooting section, and the gate receipt revenue finances school programs across campus. Meanwhile, UC Davis opens at Cal, where it's going to be a scorching 1 p.m. kickoff of 81 degrees. How about that? Right. Now at the Bay, they're laughing at us. Right. They always laugh at us.
I was just there a couple weeks ago on a Saturday. I think the temperature that day in Sacramento was 103 or something like that. They're talking about a high of 69 in San Francisco on that day. So
I have a sister, Emily, who lives in San Francisco, and when it hits 80, they go in panic.
They freak out.
There's no air conditioning here. What do we do? We'll open the windows and wait a couple hours.
Right. Joe D, I want to talk about the Sac State and UC Davis as well. But before I don't want to leave high school yet. There's 3 things that are kind of catching my eye with high school football as we're going into week 3. Well, technically, I think it's week 2 because the first week was week 0.
It's 3 weeks. Yeah, third week of the season.
Right. Folsom, they took a loss to Sarah over the week or last week. That was tough. That was following their opening season win against Monterey Trails. What's your thoughts on how they may be able to bounce back from that? Another thing, Grant. Shout out to the Del Paso Heights, the Grant Pacers out there. Look like they may be on their way back. This powerhouse may be on their way back. What do you think about Grant? And lastly, what I deem the game of the week this week, surprisingly, Sheldon at Christian Brothers this week.
Did you just ask him 3 questions at once?
I'm going to write it down. I'm going to get lost here. What's the socioeconomic impact of each game? These big picture. We love it. So Sarah of San Mateo went to the CIF State Open Division Championship last year and went down and got run over by Mater Dei, which would run over everybody except maybe Bosco. And so that's the number 1 NorCal team, and Folsom was number 2. Sarah wins 17-12. But here's the main thing. Kudos to ambitious scheduling. Kenny, when you were in high school here, there was no ambitious scheduling. You played your neighborhood schools, and then you complained and you bemoaned about the Bay Area getting more higher rankings and everything. Now the Bay Area teams play our teams year after year, and it just adds to the intrigue of football. A year ago, Folsom lost to De La Salle at home, got crunched. De La Salle's unbeaten streak against Northern California was like 318 games over 30 years. Amazing, just stunning. But Folsom recovered. Isn't that what it's all about in sports at any level? How do you respond? Folsom responded and won the section championship and beat De La Salle and went to a state bowl. Lost it, but got there. And so Folsom could do the same thing now. And as long as you win your Sac Joaquin section championship, you still have a chance to win a state championship. If you can't win your section championship, season over, more than fair. So I think Folsom, it's a good loss for Folsom against a big time quality team. Folsom only getting 12 points is surprising. Two of those were on a safety late in the game when Sarah intentionally ran the ball out of the end zone to end the game. Grant football. Grant is a city school to the core, great pride in Del Paso Heights, led the region in victories in the 1990s and in the 2000s, had some really good teams in the 2010s under coach Mike Albergini, 282 games winner, and then went 1-9 in 2019, 2-0 in the spring season of 2021, and then 0-9 last year. And it was a misleading 0-9 because it was 17-7 loss or 21-7. It wasn't 60-0. And now they got guys. They got a big guy named Alani Noah, an offensive lineman, 6'4", 295 pounds, going to USC. So they got guys. Kingston Lopa, great name. Kingston Lopa just got an offer from LSU. That's big boy football. So they got guys. Carl Reed's their coach, longtime assistant coach, athletic director, played there years ago. His father, Lynn Reed, played there in the 70s at Grant. So it's just generations coming after each other. So it's good to see the Pacers off to a 2-0 start and play Reno this week. And so it could be 3-0. It's been a few years. And then Christian Brothers Sheldon. Sheldon is in Sacramento. We know Sheldon as a basketball powerhouse over the years, a lot of section championships, but has done really great things in recent years, including under current coach Chris Nixon. His son, Scott Nixon, is one of the area's top players, receiver, defensive back, playing against Christian Brothers, 2 top 10 B teams. Christian Brothers, this is amazing. They have a freshman quarterback, which blows my mind, and he's a good player. And they have a national recruit, sophomore receiver, Philip Bell, with offers from everybody, including Alabama. It's like, whatever happened, Kenny, to the days you had to be, like a junior to make varsity. So we're seeing big time football right on down to the young guys, and they're not playing these young guys because mom's on their fanny. They're playing them because they're better than anybody else on their roster, including freshmen. So good football going on around here for sure.
See, he's a pro. He's ready to go.
Yes. Joe is a pro. Joe absolutely is a pro.
I roll with those 3-tiered questions, man.
I know you want to. He's been spending too much time with Antonio. That's what it is. I leave for a little while. He starts hanging out. Tony, you see what you're doing to your boy Kenny? That's Tony. Hit the DM. We'll get to the Sac State thing. I want to mention one other regular powerhouse who hasn't looked particularly sharp, and that's my beloved Rockland Thunder. Have you had a chance? I mean, obviously everyone knows what happened week 1 with that loss there, but is this something correctable, fixable, or are we looking at a rough season for?
No, I think it's totally correctable. Rockland went 12-1 last season, hammered Folsom in a regular season game, Sierra Foothill League, and then Folsom got them back in the Section Division I championship. So Rockland went 12-1. A lot of kids back. Joey Roberts at quarterback and guys all over the defense. And Jason Adams is a coach, been there a long time. And they're high school kids, and we had them probably ranked too high at number 2 or 3 in the preseason. We don't break down summer 7-on-7 film and evaluate and all that. And so the rankings kind of take care of themselves. But Rockland opened with a 14-7 loss at Turlock, which is a solid team, ranked high by the Modesto Bee. And it's going to be just fine. And it's in that Sierra Foothill League. It's got Oak Ridge, which has come on strong. It's got Whitney and Granite Bay, which is our number 2 ranked team and a powerhouse team. And Granite Bay is old school where they run the ball. Everybody else throws the ball. They run the ball. So Rockland's going to be fine. It's just, I guess parity might be a thing where upstarts could beat the heavies. A year ago, Turlock got just run over by Rockland. They use that. Everybody has got a cause and a reason. And but they're good enough, Rockland, to make another section championship run, but vulnerable enough because they're high school kids to lose to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I love what we've seen so far in the first couple of weeks from high school football. It's been fun. It's been competitive. you're seeing some great performance by these young
and small schools, large schools. I was at Liberty Ranch last week, a Thursday night game. A lot of games being moved to Thursday or Saturday because of referee shortage. You want to have full crews, and there was a big rooting session crowd for Liberty Ranch. It's a newer school in Galt. You can still see all the fields where they, do haying and farm work. And they're 2-0. They're not going to beat Folsom. They're not going to schedule Rockland, but for a Division IV level, they do pretty good things. And it's cool to see. Coach has got his son on the team, got another son on the JV team. Warren Schroeder's the coach, and so it's cool. They got a big blow up Liberty Ranch Hawk, and at halftime, little kids are chasing around the Hawk mascot who lost his legs and went down and got plucked at midfield. So that was pretty good entertainment. But you're right. It's if you want to go to a high school football game, you don't mind the heat. But once the sun goes down, it cools up. It's a great value for the entertainment dollar. It really is. And that hasn't changed over the years.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Sac State, what are you expecting from them this season?
I expect probably another Big Sky Conference championship. It'd be the third in a row for Coach Troy Taylor. An amazing coach. Yeah. I was out there talking to him a couple weeks ago. They don't do tackling in practice. And a lot of high schools don't. And how can you do that? This is a sport of blocking and tackling. Keep them fresh. Keep the legs fresh. Do some tackle-like drills, but you don't have to do the old school throw them to the ground. This isn't the Chicago Bears of Dick Butkus. And so they've got a bunch of guys back on offense. They're tough on defense. It's a great league, a great conference with the Big Sky. UC Davis won it in 2018. I think UCD is going to give Cal a game. They're a big underdog, but I think they'll give them a run. And it's good to have both our local college football teams good at the same time. That's only happened in 1988 and last year.
Yeah, I can't wait. More of it. I can't wait. They had to push. You talked earlier. They had to push that game back to the evening. Man,
from 6 p.m. where it would have been 110.
Come on,
toughen up to 7:30 where it's a bit more humane. Hey, and there could be people out there who didn't get the memo. They'll be out there tailgating at 4:00. We're hydrating, officer. We're hydrating. Leave us alone.
Right. They I've been out there for the Olympic trials. Remember in like the late 90s, it was there.
Yes.
In the end of July. When it was like 105, I was on the sun side. So yeah, that's if I don't want third degree burns from sitting down on the metal bleachers, that's a good idea for Sac State to move that back a little bit.
And Sac State has a brand new press box, and I'm ecstatic because it's a controlled environment. They feed you good people. Brian Berger, the sports information guy, is the best. And the first thing I asked, does the AC work? Yes. Last year in the season opener, the AC was more like a swamp cleaner, and we're all shirtless and disgusting. And so, as long as we got air conditioning, we don't care. Look at those guys sweat out there. I'm okay here. Hey, somebody give me a water.
Joe D, we appreciate you, man. Thanks again. We're looking forward to this season together here with you, and we're looking forward to all your coverage over there on the Sacramento Bee.
Thank you, Kenny and Damon. Always good to see you guys.
Take care.